We're also having a giveaway where you can sign up to win one of 5 $50 RP cards. So that's on our website too, on the right side under headlines. So check that out, sign up for that.
It's like golden tickets.
Golden tickets.
You know what? If we hand out chocolate bars and have RP cards in them at Face Off, we'll sell millions.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, but there's only okay. I see. There's like 5, right?
There will be like 1 million candy bars, and there's only 5 RP cards, and everyone will go, "Ooh, I want."
And how much are the candy bars? They are $50 each, actually, for the $50 RP card.
They are pretty expensive.
Yeah. And so, just running through these bands picks real quick, like to get back into the game. But yeah, so Face Off's gonna be really cool. We're having a giveaway. There's also we do broadcasts all the time, as you guys know. And League of Legends update. Check that out. We're going to have a new episode this week, I think. So check that out. We do lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, the
IPL
last
top
one is the
5.
lost episode.
We do a top play show, so check that out. Send us some plays. We are having a hard time finding some good community plays. So
that's because all of the community is terrible. That's what.
Wow.
That's what I've heard.
Just alienating yourself from the community.
Completely. No,
sure you want to do that?
At least from what I've heard,
Community is beautiful, in my eyes. So send us some
was a
plays,
woman, I would
and
marry
somewhere in there, you can talk about James Railman, because he's just talking a bunch of trash on the community, and no one should be able to do that. No one should be able to talk trash like that.
It's a terrible thing. The community is fantastic.
Yeah. But we're back in the game. So Olaf jungle we don't see too often.
No.
But
there's a couple of people. We saw it earlier
Nintendude
today.
Nintendude's a big Olaf jungler.
We saw Dax earlier today was playing it.
Yeah, he does some
Actually,
good damage.
Dax support.
Dax?
He might have been support.
Was it?
He might have been support.
Support Olaf?
No. He might have been playing support.
Oh, okay.
Olaf.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, you know who it was? It was Kerp was playing Olaf, and he swapped into the jungle. And yeah, I mean, Olaf is a very strong champion, and as a jungler, he's incredibly fast. He has great damage output in those 1v1 situations. But one of the issues that we saw with Nintendude, and we saw earlier today with Kerp, is Olaf is a really strong counter jungler, and he's really good at those duels. And so as a result, you're like, hey, I'm Olaf. I need to get in there. I need to be counter jungling. And so he, at like level 3, he ran in trying to invade and pick a fight, and he quickly found himself outmatched.
Against who? Who's he?
That's all. No, it was versus M5. It was.
No, I mean, what? Who's the opponent jungler?
It was. I don't remember actually. I think it was Shen. Yeah, I think it was Shen. So but he had like a level advantage and a double buff. He just, the rest of the team piled in on him.
Oh, okay.
That really wasn't
good
supposed
map
to be
awareness.
that difficult. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. It's jungling. A lot of it's about team support and how much control you have in your lanes.
Yeah.
And so their mid lane was able to collapse in on him, and very quickly he found himself out of position.
Yeah, so I mean, similar to he's going to need to be doing the same thing here, because you can get caught out, you can get slowed by Mundo, you can get slammed by Alistar. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you decide that you're going to want to go into the opponent's jungle and try to do some damage. He is pretty tanky, and we do see a lot of tower diving from Olaf by a lot of some of the more prominent Olaf players like Nintendude. So I can expect some tower diving in this game, whether it's from Olaf or from Mundo, because both are so tanky. They can get in there and they can really make an impact on the lanes.
Yeah, his tower diving is fantastic because his ultimate, not only do you not have to worry about that NECC underneath the tower, but you also get tankier. It reduces incoming damage. So, that's definitely a nice thing. Particularly with Aurelia, and Aurelia versus Vlad, they want to dive Vlad. They want to pick up those kills. So if Aurelia gets him low at all, there is the high potential for Olaf and Aurelia to dive Vladimir, which also, is why Lexavink as a jungler. Mundo is a very controlled jungler, so he needs to get up there and watch top lane a lot and try and follow Olaf, try and figure out where he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But because Vlad can kind of stall off a push a little bit, if Mundo comes in and has a counter gank there, that could really turn against them pretty negatively.
And that would be pretty bad.
That would be bad.
That would be horrible. Yeah, I agree. That's all I really have to say about that. I think that's what's going to happen. And do you usually take exhaust on Mundo, like in all situations? Are there ever a situation where you want to get flash?
Sometimes. See, the nice thing with Flash versus the Exhaust is that if you're going to be counter jungling, then it allows you to be a little bit more safe. You can get over walls and stuff like that. And that's the usual reason why you'll go Flash as a jungler. One of two reasons. That, or you want to engage on the back line. But Mundo has great movement speed with his ultimate. Yeah. So with the movement speed, you can usually get out of any sticky situations. You don't need to flash over walls usually. And if you're going to be flashing in the back line, that's really a waste. So you could, potentially see like Ghost on Mundo. But Exhaust is just such a stronger summoner because you already have great movement speed, you already have great survivability, you just need a little bit more ganking potential to go along with your control jungling. So the Exhaust, it gives you those opportunities where you can pick up those kills.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing, it seems like the idea is you gank only when you have Exhaust or when the lanes are extremely pushed up. And how accurate is that?
Well, I mean, you can gank in a lot of opportunities with Mundo. Usually, you want to be looking for counter initiation, so you just want to be able to control the jungle. But yeah, whenever you can get in, if someone's slightly out of position, you don't really need a lot from Mundo. You just need a clear path for a cleave, and then you just kind of chase them down because Mundo's damage output is fantastic. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I know his clearing speed is the fastest or one of the fastest until Deanna comes out. Anyway, so but yeah, clearing speed's really good.
Diana looks ridiculous. And I'm really excited to play her.
Deanna is going to be ridiculous, and I think she's going to get played a lot. She's not going to be as as tanky as say Mundo, but she's going to be able to put out a lot of damage, and she's going to be able to farm really, really fast. And so the combination of being able to farm and get that early advantage against other junglers will allow her to go in and do a lot of ganking. So I'm excited to see some play from her. But yeah, Mundo clears really, really fast, and there's a lot of people get that Heart of Gold on Mundo, which gives them like an additional gold advantage over the opposing jungler. So the Heart of Gold combined with the fast clear speed, you can really get pretty far ahead with Mundo, and you don't have to spend as much time ganking or maybe going for like those multiple gold per 10 items that other junglers have to.
Yeah, no, he is a very strong overall jungler. We'll have to see how it works. I do think it's interesting, though. Kiko Me Please went with the heal instead of the Ignite, so more defensive summoners, and a lot of that is because of the pressure that Aurelia can put on that top lane. X Hazard, we've seen in the past, has just been fantastic in the top lane, and he's putting a lot of pressure onto Vladimir, so we'll see how that works. But not having the Ignite, it could actually make things easier on Aurelia for those dives, so it'll allow Vladimir to sit around in lane a little bit longer. They might actually meet up here, though, but it won't allow Vladimir to deny that health regen from the Transcendent Blades. He's going to walk right into it, I think. Oh, there it goes. How do you miss that? But there's no flash. The Exhaust going down. He goes down really quickly.
Oh, my God. It was a trick grab. He wanted him to think.
He wanted to push him into the wall.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's really bad for Mundo. I mean, you can kind of expect when you have Blitzcrank on a team that you can expect an invade.
Yeah.
And so right there, probably a little bit surprised that they were there or that they were ready to invade, even though I think you should probably expect it. And through that, you should probably be grouped up a little bit better than they were. So really good for them catching Mundo out of position, being able to take advantage of that. And as a result, Lexmink is going to be pretty far behind now, taking that red away from Mundo.
Yeah, it's definitely nice because Olaf, while he is a very fast jungler, he also gets extremely low on his first clear in particular.
Yeah, he does.
And especially around the red buff. A lot of times if you start off blue buff and then you head to red buff, you're vulnerable to ganks from someone like Mundo. Mundo could maybe start his own blue and then go up into your jungle and invade. But they're going to be fine for that situation. But look, he gets Robert X. Lee. He has the pop-up as well. Light Sludge going to get some nice damage. They will back off. But so because of that early advantage for Olaf, they don't have to worry about any aggression from Mundo. They know that they're going to be pretty safe.
Yeah, they're going to be really safe, and Mundo's going to be pretty far behind. Oh, except that Mundo is probably going to try to make a play up top. I think this feels a little bit like a desperation move, like he's going to need to somehow get ahead a little bit further than he is, and maybe a gank is the way to do that. But so he's just camping out. He's waiting for an opportunity for maybe really to go in for a last hit like that, and then he's going to go on in.
Yeah, and Lexvink, he's actually pursuing a little bit here. X Hazard's going to take a lot of damage. There's the Exhaust as well. He gets the flash out, but they're actually going to dive this. One more attack. Vlad just can't quite get the damage. Oh, he barely grabs it, and then using the heal, he's barely able to get out of there. He does have to watch out for NK Inc. closing the distance, though, but he seems like he has enough of a space. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to do it. I didn't think without the Ignite he'd be able to do it, but now NK Inc., I think he's going to have it. He throws off the Ghost, the pull from Kiko, and that's just barely going to keep him alive. One axe is not enough. He's able to get out of there.
Nice. I was really concerned about that dive. Like, I thought they were both dead or something.
Yeah.
Like, but no, he was good. He went in and really clutch heal. I wasn't paying attention that he had heal, so a little bit of a surprise for me. I thought he was completely dead.
I literally just talked about that 5 seconds before that fight. I was like, so Vladimir has heal, and you're like, yeah, I didn't actually realize he had heal. Thanks. I appreciate it, Nick.
Yeah. No, so I'm affirming you in what you say.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and the heal there, of course, to be able to play really safe and defensive in that top lane instead of taking something like Ignite, which allows you to be a little bit more aggressive. So good use of that heal by Vladimir.
Yeah, so if Vladimir can get off to a nice start, that's definitely huge. He's actually going with the Doran's Blade, or sorry, Doran's Shield. NK Inc. still pursuing this top lane, gets some really nice damage against him there. He's barely able to get out of there. Alistar actually jumping onto Erwin Booz there, getting him very low. The next time they engage that, is his passive down? It is not, so he still has that, but he's still extremely low. They will have to watch out for that. But yeah, so the Doran's on Vlad is very nice. It gives him some innate regen so that he can just be a little bit tankier, as well as the armor and health. But it slows down his build a little bit, but not that much. Dorans are just, you know, good, cheap stuff.
Yeah, and it's going to give him a little bit better of a situation against Aurelia, being able to trade if need be. Oh, meanwhile, Alistar going ahead, but Pulverize and trying to do some damage. Meanwhile, Graves falls, trying to do some damage on Corki. Blitzcrank grab coming in. Is he going to be able to get Corki? No, and Corki falls. Double kill for Light Sludge. And that is unfortunate in the bot lane.
Yeah, really nice job from them. Graves doesn't quite have enough burst damage right now, so he just can't, you know, win those exchanges. Then with the exhaust, he was right in the middle of them, putting himself right next to Blitzcrank, and they knew that Blitzcrank's passive was down, so they weren't going to get the kill there quickly. But X Hazard walking right into Lexvink. He has the follow-up, one cleaver down. He needs to hit the second one, though. He's still taking a lot of damage, though. They might actually just go ahead and dive this. The pull, and they're going to be able to pick it up. Another kill onto X Hazard in the top lane.
It's just another situation where a lack of warding and a lack of map awareness cost him another death there.
Oh, so, he got it!
Nice.
Trixie, he stole his own Wraith back from Cobelter.
That was nice. But yeah, back to the top lane. Like really good. Vladimir be able to go in there, dive, and get the kill. And X Hazard is going to be really far behind now. We're looking at. I mean, the levels are still rather close because you know, Vlad was pushed out of lane with the Olaf and. But yeah, he's going to be a bit behind. And Alistar's going to come in and try to get a Pulverize off here. Oh, and he gets knocked up by Blitz, so he's going to have to back out. Oh, just missing the grab.
Yeah, and the best thing about putting Vladimir ahead in that top lane, again, is that Aurelia would have an advantage over him at this point.
Yeah.
But he's getting early advantages, and it goes to Mundo's aggression and his ability to tower dive and tank those turrets. So they're able to, you know, pick up some kills there, and that's absolutely massive, getting him off to a good start. So he's going to be very well farmed, most likely coming in the mid-game. Aurelia is still ahead right now, so you know, that is a serious issue for Vladimir as far as just plain CS. But the 2 kills, it puts Vladimir ahead gold-wise. But he does have to worry, because there's 2 null magic mantles on Aurelia. There's plenty of damage once she can finish up like a Wit's End or a Hex Drinker for her to take Vlad down.
Yeah, but she will have to be worried. I mean, because Vladimir is going to hit level 6 before her, and then be able to do some serious damage with that ultimate. So it's not going to be as simple as you know, diving in trying to do damage.
Right.
Really have to look out for that ultimate once Vlad hits level 6, and that's the cost of being so, you know, as far behind as he is. Fortunately, he's not as far behind as he could be. You know, luckily Vlad's been pushed out of lane and has not gotten the full experience that could have put him way ahead. Oh, I mean, Aurelia is trying to get in and do some damage and force Vlad back out of the lane.
Yeah, and Aurelia can exchange very well. Once she has her ultimate in particular, she might just decide to dive him. So I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing Olaf make a little bit of a harder play towards the top lane, you know, particularly to counter out Mundo, but also to give Aurelia a little bit of a killing advantage over Vladimir. So we'll have to see for that. For the most part, bottom lane, though, those early kills just is going to completely deny any aggression from Ordinance. So they're just going to sit back, get Graves farmed, and that's fine. He has the AoE where he can do that very easily. They shouldn't have to worry about kills. They just sit behind the minions, and Blitzcrank couldn't really do anything. So it will be very safe for them in this lane. Just probably will be turned into more of a passive lane after those the little double kill earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for, you know, to get behind on Corki because of how strong Corki's pokes are, especially once he gets that ultimate. So, and again with the zoning with Blitz can kind of force you away from the creeps and force you not to be able to farm as well. So, when you get behind on that lane, you're going to get pretty far behind because they're not going to allow you to farm as much as you want to.
In the meantime, Mundo is set up in the bottom lane. He wants to force this. He is level 6, so he has the movement speed to force and engage here. We'll see if he'll do it. I think he's primarily just waiting to see if they're going to tower dive or force anything on their end. There are no wards, though, so he might be able to get in there.
Yeah, and he's just going to sit tight, and I think he's going to wait for Corki and Blitz to move up. I think they might be cautious because of how forward Graves and Alistar, but Mundo's going to have a really good initiate, and here comes Alistar going to try to go in. Got knocked up by Blitz, and Blitz, nice flash over. He's going to get that grab on Alistar, and Corki's just going to do a ton of damage, and looked like Alistar took a hit from the turret on that one as well. So they're just going to put some pressure and drive him out of the lane while they can, while Alistar, poor Alistar, is dead.
Oh, sweet, sweet, fair prince. I'm not sure where I'm going with that. But, yeah, no, it's just, it's really a shame to have a gank turn against you so poorly. And Spellsy going down, Corki just keeps on pulling further and further ahead, which is going to be a serious issue, as it usually is when an AD carry gets fed. But we'll have to see how that's going to kind of progress. Just getting a little bit out of position when there wasn't really a good means of engaging. Both of them, they used, Corki was able to get out of it, but then Blitz used his flash to get out. And then Alistar still kind of pursuing a little bit, just walked right into the Blitz hook. So that's definitely an issue. Xhazard, in the meantime, doing a fantastic job in the top lane, way ahead of Vladimir in CS, just absolutely obliterating him in CS. And despite those two kills for Vladimir early on, only one actually, he's still way ahead. But in the meantime, Morgana set up bot. He might actually flash for this. Pobelter, he gets it. Robert X. Lee going down very quickly. No ultimate for Spellsy either. He's going to go down as well. 6-2 for Meat Playground right now.
Really good map awareness by Pobelter, knowing when he's going to have an opportunity to go in and do a bunch of damage. And he saw an opportunity, flashed, and he ulted, and he hit them both square with that ult. So he was able to do a lot of damage. And, you know, one kill and an assist on Morgana. 2 kills, yeah, one on Morgana.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be pretty helpful against Karthus, who really hasn't had an opportunity to use that ultimate and take advantage of that global presence.
And it's still astounding to me how well Xhazard is playing his top lane, and the fact that he's still just bullying around Vladimir despite being down, from those kills. Vladimir actually going to walk right into him, recognizes that Xhazard's low on mana, so he wants to deny that recall because this is where he's going to thrive. Lixving still up top, trying to get another gank on, but not able to force the fight, not able to bait it out. But this does open up an opportunity for Kiko to get a little bit of advantage here, because if Aurelia had gotten back sooner, Xhazard would have been back in time to pick up all of this CS right before it hits the tower. Now it's going to be pretty close. He's actually going to miss out on about half of it because Kiko stalled him and is able to push it up.
Yeah, it's going to help out, but I'm also really impressed by how well Xhazard has been farming and just how aggressive he's been able to play, even though he's been so far behind. Well, I guess not all that far behind, but at least somewhat behind.
Yeah.
And that's that ability of Aurelia with the resists and the ability to go in and just try to trade and try to do a bunch of damage. So, and luckily, Olaf's been there in the key times when he's needed to be to help, counter the lane and try to at least push Vlad out so that he doesn't be able to leverage, that big of a lead over Xhazard in the top lane.
Yeah, and actually Aurelia finishing up the wit's end is going to be such a huge advantage. Another hook. Robert X. Lee going down instantly.
Oh my. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, they have almost no options in this lane. Aaron Booz, he can just zone out Spellsy. They are so unbelievably far ahead. And same with top lane. Despite those ganks, he's really far as well. Aaron Booz, he's actually probably going to get this hook. He misses, though, but they will back off. And both top and bot are almost done. I mean, like top lane now with all that magic resist, Xhazard can really bully around Vladimir.
Yeah, that's going to be really scary. I mean, Blitzcrank grabs when he's that far ahead with that ultimate, with that damage and that level advantage, can do a lot. Meanwhile, Aurelia just chunking down Vlad. Vlad trying to do some damage back. There goes the ultimate. He's going to try to do a little bit more damage, but Aurelia just going to try to get out of there. Meanwhile, Mundo's coming around, but Aurelia sees Mundo coming, and Xhazard's looks like he's going to get away safely.
Yeah, really nice job flashing out of there, gets out of that situation. But even so, you saw the damage that Aurelia has versus Vladimir. Will be vulnerable still to those Mundo ganks, but it's a serious concern. And Vladimir without the Ignite, can't exchange very well. So yes, the heal kept him up. It prevented him from getting too low. Which is definitely nice now that he has the regen. But X-Hazard can just dive him once again, and then X-Hazard has the Ignite, so X-Hazard should win this next matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Vlad throw everything that he had at Aurelia in that fight, and wasn't able to do enough damage to even really, make an impression on Aurelia. So Aurelia's just like, well, I'm just gonna wait until I'm back to full life, and then we're gonna trade again. But this time, I'm gonna be so far ahead. Like right now, Aurelia's just closing the gap, is trying to chunk down some damage, and Vlad just like, well, I have to take it, standing up. I have to just back out and show Aurelia that she can dominate me at any time.
Yeah, and NK Inc. Heading down to the bottom lane, they were able to grab that dragon earlier, so they have that advantage as well. Olaf has a faster clearing speed than Mundo does, but we'll see how Ordinance can try and turn this around. But it's just going to be difficult because all their lanes are kind of going to be denied farm, except for mid lane. Mid lane should be fine. Karthus 134 CS, 15 minutes in, so he's definitely doing pretty nice. But top lane can't farm at all, and X-Hazard chasing after Kigami, please. He does have the Ignite on. One more Blade Surge will be able to do it, but doesn't want to dive long enough. There it is. It actually has a couple of seconds left, so wasn't able to get that. But even so, Vladimir can't farm. He's being pushed out of the lane. He doesn't have a lot of options.
Yeah, he can't farm, and then now it's just going to give... Oh, meanwhile, grab on Alistar. Alistar just getting exploded by Corki, and he's going to try to get out of there, but I'm not sure he's going to make it when there goes the knockout for Blitz, and he's going to go down. Just a little bit too much face checking in that situation, trying to get in, trying to do a little something, but just got exploded. I don't think they thought Olaf was going to be there at that particular time, so...
Well, and it wasn't like he was walking into a bush or anything. He just had a long vision clearing, and he just kind of expected that he was okay. Erwin Booz walking up, gets the chunk.
Oh, nice.
The flash from Trixie, just getting out of that hook. But it's a lot of pressure. And now with that bot turret down, they can start to snowball these lanes. Karthus can stall usually pretty well, but against Blitzcrank, that's one of Blitzcrank's strengths. When champions, particularly AP champions, try and stall out waves, you can just sit there as Blitzcrank, wait until you get a hook on someone, and then win the exchange. So he works very well against champions like Karthus and Anivia, who like to stall those games, and they pick up another turret.
Yeah, pick up another turret, and they are just playing extremely aggressive. They can because they're so far ahead. And you see in that bottom jungle, they're able to just ward really deep and have a good
Spellsy.
sense. Oh, now see that's the problem. So they're warded deep, so he's just gonna be able to have firm control over that jungle, and they're not gonna be able to get away. That's
like,
really
this
unfortunate.
Is awkward.
Yeah. So he's just gonna get taken down pretty quick here, just chopped down by Corki. And that's the problem when you're so far ahead and your jungle is worded in such a way that you can't go off roaming, and it even becomes difficult to place wards, just like Spellsy just did there. He's trying to help his team out, trying to get a little bit more vision. But when you do that, you are putting yourself at risk, and he paid for it.
Oh, but Karthus and Lexvink, they're both sitting under here. They could potentially dive him. They are getting some nice, poke down on this tower. Actually, Pobelts are taking some damage, but they might go in on it. No, they will back off. So they still have to deal with all that damage that Meat Playground has. And Meat Playground, I'll be honest, I'm astounded to see them just abusing Ordinance to such a degree. They look really strong, so it should be interesting to see how they continue to play coming forward.
Yeah, they're looking... Yeah, really, really strong, and much like when in the Curse match when they played against them, I was really surprised by how much they were just dominating them in the games that they won, especially in that third game. They just absolutely just destroyed them. So yeah, they know how to play aggressive when they have a lead. They know how to control the map and how to farm well in a situation where they're just so much stronger than their opponent. But what do you expect from a team called Meat Playground? Really, I mean, honestly.
I expect delicious deli meats.
Like a fine roast beef.
No, more like a
prosciutto.
Prosciutto, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Nice
See
prosciutto.
how I read your mind. I knew you had prosciutto on the brain.
I did. You said it, and I was like, yeah, you're damn right, Nick. Prosciutto. Hell.
That's what I want right now. I want some prosciutto.
But another dragon for Meat Playground, really pulling ahead in this game. 9K gold lead right now. The late game is still incredibly strong for Ordinance, so if they can hold off, then it is very strong. But Meat Playground, they have enough damage and they have enough CC to do very well in fights. And then also, if their tanks and their initiators are down, a little bit ahead, like Aurelia. If Aurelia is ahead, then Aurelia can just dive right at Ordinance. They're just not going to have enough damage to deal with it, and that's a serious issue for Ordinance coming up. But actually, they're walking right into it. It is a trap. Erwin Booz, he does kind of get caught out. The turret's actually hitting him, but the rest of his team is fine. Erwin Booz almost going down. Spellsy is right in the middle there, able to pick up that kill, but they're able to turn it around. Light Sludge, he's just going to work here. Robert X. Lee should die any second now. The Karthus ultimate, though, and Vladimir's able to pick up another kill, so it actually turned out pretty well for them. A couple of their members almost dead. X Hazard is going to be grabbing that blue, but really just turned against them all of that AoE damage that Ordinance has. Yeah,
that was really good, and Karthus ult finally taking part, having an impact on the fight there, and that was really good. And yeah, Blitzcrank got caught out trying to get an aggressive grab. Was a little bit out of position. His ultimate didn't hit as many people as he would want, and for that, they were able to do some significant damage onto Meat Playground.
But you saw, I mean, Vladimir and Karthus, they don't even have to try, and they just, shit out damage. It's just, it's there, and there's not a lot of effort involved in a lot of situations. But I don't know, we'll see how, Meat Playground can kind of keep up that momentum, because they were all very close to going down. Just a little bit more damage on, Karthus or Vladimir's part could really quickly turn that against them.
Yeah, and they can, Blitz allows them to be really aggressive in the fact that if Ordinance wants to stall, you can kind of, gear your assault on like a nice blitz grab, and they have to play really cautiously. And while they're playing cautiously, that gives you the opportunity to take down towers and to push really, really hard. So that's what Blitzcrank brings to the table. Meanwhile, Blitzcrank getting caught out, but Graves and Alistar going to go ahead and try to get out of here. But meanwhile, Graves taking a lot of damage. That was a really weird knock-up by Blitz after that flash, and Olaf's going to get in and tank that turret and get the kill onto Graves. So they're going to try to make it out of here. Meanwhile, Blitz popping that shield, getting that knockoff. Corky coming in, trying to do some damage. Alistar doing what he does best.
Headbutt. The long-range hook!
Yeah, nice. That was awesome. Nice. That was pretty cool. I like it when the Blitz grab kills instead of actually grabbing them, because it looks pretty sweet. So, but yeah, they're going to have to try to get out of there because they're still going to be doing a lot of damage. Corky took no damage in that situation, and so he was able to just poke and force them back into their base so they could take a turret and they could push really hard.
Yeah, really nice play. And, Pobelter was able to zone them a little bit there at the end. So, we'll see how that's going to kind of work. I mean, the initiation from Pobelter, as long as they have enough damage, which they do to follow it up, they could, once he has a Zonias, he could just really easily dive in. He might actually just go for an Abyssal and try and just explode them and have a little bit of tankiness. But I think, because of the burstiness of Karthus and Vladimir, they will probably want to, he will probably want to rush that Zonias. So we'll see, but it's going to be very difficult for Ordinance to win any fights, particularly when you're going up against an 8-1-3 Corky. He's just so completely fed right now. He's so powerful. It's just the fights are going to be so difficult for them.
Yeah, with 57 more farm than Graves, that's pretty unfortunate, and 2-level advantage as well. So it's Corky's game right now, and with his ability to get out or get in and poke you down pretty hard, Corky is yes. Just the tip, indeed. Just getting in there with just the tip and doing some real serious damage. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, he's it's definitely going to be really strong. And the big thing is he's almost a full item ahead of Graves. So Graves doesn't just now finishing the Infinity Edge. That's definitely huge to get that damage out there. He is actually going to be coming in for the Baron, so they will be able to pressure this. They're going to take it very easily with their team. They are going to stay pretty high health. And then they can go back, buy some more items, and force a fight. Though, actually, Ordinance is kind of coming up here, so they will try and force an engage, but the Baron is down, so the damage is done already. Yeah, so they are going to be chasing him down. Erwin Booz, he might actually get a hook here, trying to get in. Kiko does throw off the pole, so he is going to be okay. But with that regen, they can easily poke down turrets. Aurelia a little bit low right now, so they will want to hold off for a second, allow her to regen some, get her ultimate back up. But, once that's the case, they can just easily poke down this turret. The issue with poking versus Karthus is if he throws off his wall, he can kind of stall you a little bit. But the hook, not able to grab Trixie. So 1 turret down, 1 more to go.
Yeah, and that's the power of the hook, is you have to be really cautious. You have to stay back, and they got that turret for basically free. And because they can't go up and try to pursue and trying to do some damage, because they'll get blitz grab, they'll get ulted, and they'll get chunked down really quickly. Meanwhile, they're going to try to engage on this. There goes a blitz ult, and then the grab on Vlad. Vlad is going to try to go down pretty quick, but he's doing some serious damage himself. Corky just sitting in the back, doing some significant damage. Vlad does get a kill, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to have to try to back out. But yeah, a lot of damage on Meat Playground there. And I think maybe it's starting to get into that late game that you're talking about where Ord actually can do a little bit of work.
Yeah, no, it's the AoE coupled with the tower was just way too much for them. They don't have anyone that's really overly high armor right now that can take that tower very easily. But the hook on the Lexvink, they're picking up that kill very quickly. Trixie trying to chase them down, but will go down underneath. But he has his ultimate, and they're going to go down. How many can he get? He's going to get Olaf. Erwin Booz is okay. Corky is still up. But, you know, it's another kill for them. They do come out ahead. They still have a 14k gold advantage, but it does stall off that push a little bit.
Yeah, 14k gold at this point. It's 24 minutes. That's pretty significant. Luckily, Ordinance has been getting a slightly better engage than I think that Meat Playground wants them to have. So they'll be able to kind of sit under the tower and do a bunch of damage. And there's that Karthus coming in where it's like, well, you're killing him, and he's dead, but he's still doing a bunch of damage to you. And thank goodness for that ultimate. And Karthus is still having a significant impact in the team fights, even though he's getting bursted down pretty quick.
Yeah, no, and that's the big issue with Karthus versus Meat Playground's team is the fact that they're all going to be sitting right in that AoE. They start to go over the dragon, but then they decide to go against it. So, I think, you know, they see Kiko. They want to get an engage. X-Hazard actually jumping onto the cannon, or the Golem minions will dive onto Kiko. Kiko does pull, but they have the initiation advantage. Lexvink coming onto Corky, but he's able to get back out of there. Robert X. Lee, the silence, they burst him down. The hook missing onto Lexvink, but they're still able to pick up a kill. So just really nice awareness there. Instead of going for the dragon, they recognize, all right, we have the movement speed. Let's just chase someone down. Let's get a kill here.
Yeah, now it's a 5v4 situation where your AD carry is dead. And that's going to allow Meat Playground to be even more aggressive. And they're just going to go up and, and a sweet grab on Mundo. And that's why you ward on the other side of the wall like they have there so they can get those key grabs. And they're just going to be putting a lot of pressure on them now. Man, having Mundo and Graves down at this point right now is going to be working against them a significant amount. So that's the problem with Blitzcrank is you get out of position, you just want to go look. You just want a little peek onto the opponent team. What are they doing? I just want to throw my cleaver out, see if they're there. You get out there, and then you get grabbed. And that's Blitzcrank for you, and he's been doing wonders for them this game.
Mundo looked into the heart of darkness, and he saw the Blitzcrank hook, and his soul was blackened. But yeah, with the Baron, it will be down actually shortly. Did it just pop? No, it still has a little bit, but will be down soon. With that mid inhibitor down, it's just going to be very difficult for Ordinance to stall, and they don't have the best initiation. But the flash from Spellzy, the pulverize, the headbutt back, X-Hazard, he dashes on the Spellzy. He's actually very close to getting out of there. He does have a flash, but just barely taking a little bit too much damage. Graves picks up that kill.
Good Graves ult. Yeah, just got a little bit too aggressive, but maybe a little overconfident in his abilities that he can maybe withstand 2v1, maybe in 3v1. But then the 4v1 came and got a really clutch pulverized by Alistar. Was able to headbutt him in. And Aurelia tried to dash out of there, tried to do, try to play it safe, but couldn't. It was just too late for them. And that long distance ultimate from Graves finished her off. And so now, I mean, Ordinance is in a little bit of a better position where, you're looking at 4v5. You can stall a little bit more. And try to get your bearings and try to see if maybe you can get ready for some sort of engage at Baron or back at your base.
Yeah, it is just under. It's about a minute and a half until Baron's back up, and they can force another fight. The inhibitor still has some time, so they want to take advantage of that and pressure down this bottom lane. But like you said, any sort of deaths like that, it stalls out the game. It prevents your team from being able to take advantages that you would otherwise want to. Light Sludge is still incredibly powerful, though. Anyone that's pulled in by Blitzcrank is going to die almost immediately. So Blitzcrank can just instantly win them fights in this kind of a situation because of how fed they are. Olaf as well is incredibly strong. Aurelia will be coming down, so both of them are just beyond tanky at this point.
Yeah, tanky with just pretty ridiculous level lead at this point. And yeah, Blitzcrank is just, he's so dang scary. Like you said, you instantly explode, and it just gives them the freedom to kind of roam around and be a little, be overly aggressive because they can be. Because you try to fight up against them, and then you get individually pulled out by Blitzcrank, and you explode. Like Blitzcrank, exactly like that, where he puts you in a position where you have to be so cautious you can't go in and do damage. Vlad getting that ult off, diving in, trying to do some damage. And Olaf trying to get in and kill somebody, but Aurelia coming in, ulting, doing some damage. Alistar getting in, pulverizing, and Karthus going to come down and try to finish somebody up. Oh, and the pull.
They had plenty of damage. They were able to turn this around. Morgana coming around the backside. Robert X. Lee is going to go down. Really nice play from Meat Playground. And the big thing is they know how strong they are. They know that they're strong enough to force 4v5 fights. So Morgana was able to split push. X-Hazard gets the stun, but there's the hook back. Erwin Booz really quickly taking down Trixie. Don't walk into the fountain. So he is able to get out of there. They are going to be able to take this Nexus. Meat Playground, fantastic play. The split push, from Morgana was definitely a really nice call. And then they're able to kite them effectively. Everyone's just able to back off. And then Corki had enough damage to just destroy Ordinance's entire team.
Yeah, bot lane got absolutely demolished that game. I mean, we got a 1-8 Alistar and a 2-8 Graves at the end of the game. So just putting them so far behind made it so that they just had no chance to come back. And as one of your main damage dealer, Graves, he needed to wait for late game, but Meat Playground wasn't going to let it get to that point. They're like, we need to take advantage now. We don't want to let their late game team get to that point, and they got just totally wrecked. And
yeah, no, it was just stomped. I mean, the big thing was Meat Playground was able to take so many early advantages. In the bot lane, they completely abused them. Top lane, Aurelia did a really fantastic job against Vladimir, and that's the issue. Aurelia does do very well against Vladimir, but he wasn't able to sit back and play defensively.
Yeah.
So they were able to take that game number 1. Guys, we will be right back with the commercial after this commercial for game number 2, Meat Playground versus Ordinance. We'll check that out. Be right back.